Welcome back to r/LegalAdvice, where we read surprisingly interesting stories that usually don't end in a cliffhanger. If you are new to my channel, please feel free to subscribe to join our awesome community, and without any further ado, let's dive right in. And the first one is titled Queensland Australia, ex who disappeared 5 years ago wants all her stuff back, it is all gone. In 2011, my girlfriend of a few years up and left suddenly. We had gone from planning a future together long term to her disappearing and leaving me, her car, everything she owned and her job, and disappearing in one working day. I did the missing persons thing and the police found her, and she got in contact with me via one short email that said she was okay and happy and not to worry about her, and she did not want any further contact. I tried several times to email her on getting her property back to her and had no response. After a couple of years and no response from her, I parked her car several blocks away, and when the fines came, I marked her as not at this address and returned the letters. A few years in, I opened her bank mail. She still had statements unchanged from when she left. She had left everything behind, property and savings as well as me. I stopped keeping her mail for her and returned all mail addressed to her as not at this address. Not long ago, I was contacted by someone else she had done the same to recently and asked if I knew where she was or what the story might be. It appears she may have a pattern of settling down, setting up a life, and then disappearing. She phoned me this week like nothing had happened and wants to come around to get her car and some of her clothing. I told her what I had done and she threatened me and said she was going straight to the police and I had no permission to do what I did. I have not heard anything from the police and it has been 2 days. What kind of trouble am I likely in, and what is my next best step to protect myself, given the mistakes I've already made? And a user in the comments said, the police are still too busy laughing to bother contacting you. And another person said, she is shit out of luck, you are not her personal storage service. The only illegal thing you did here is opening her mail. I suppose this person's partner is extremely anxious about settling down. Have you ever been together with a person with similar fears about settling down? Let us know in the comments. And the next one is an update to the ex story who disappeared. From my original post here last year, it ended up with no legal solution needed. My ex did keep at it and eventually turned up to my place in a confrontation, again demanding her stuff. She brought her new boyfriend with her and they refused to leave. I called the police and my ex and her boyfriend both left soon before the police arrived. I gave the police a rundown of what happened and they left without doing anything as things had been diffused. I heard nothing more until last month when her boyfriend, now ex, turned up at my doorstep in peace and asked if I knew where my ex was. She had disappeared without telling him or any of her new friends and workplace. I filled him in on how she had done the same to me and to a group of friends after me. We had a few beers and I consoled him. Also, I gave him advice on legally getting rid of everything she left behind from my limited experience. No legal fix needed and probably the cycle begins again. Makes you really wonder why someone would do something like this. If you ask me, this is probably due to some mental issues, because I can understand that some people might be scared of settling down, but I would be talking about getting married or getting kids or something, and not just disappearing out of the blue. And the next one is titled, I am willingly sheltering my minor sister who is fleeing an arranged marriage proposal. My sister showed up on my doorstep last night about 100 miles from home with nothing at all to her name. So far, let's just call it an unplanned social visit. We speak daily and are very close. I don't want to bring religion/racism/nationalism into the discussion, so I will just state that our family/community has an ingrained custom of setting up beneficial martial engagements. My sister is 17, born/resident of Indiana and is at my place in Illinois. Is vehemently opposed to this matching, zero interest. Family is pressuring her, using shaming, emotional abuse and exclusions. She ended up fainting compliance in order for it to stop. I am estranged from my family over similar circumstances. They do not know our exact address or the possibly city we reside. That is my doing. Me and my husband are worried that this could be seen as harboring my sister. I also have a child myself who is thrilled at Auntie's surprise visit. So, as of right now, she is absent with permission, but is not at the expected location, she told our parents. First, are we in legal problems? How can we minimize this? Second, I work in a field involving vulnerable people. Can I be at risk of losing my job? Third, do we need to turn her over right now? Driving her back against her will, can that be considered kidnapping? 4. Can she stay? I know it is a stretch, but we can support her until 18 to 19 years old. I would be glad to if such an agreement can be made. She is my blood sibling. Next, how can we ensure her rights are not being railroaded by family customs? Next, she crossed state lines. How bad is this? Edit 11 o'clock. I just got a text from my father on my phone. I don't know how he has the number. Asks if I heard from my sister today. 11:30, more text from family/friend numbers, Facebook getting stuff. I have not even shown online. My sister's phone is non-stop right now. She texted mom to say she's fine. Lawyer on call is going to have someone call me back as soon as possible. My replies will be slow. I have 2 phones to my ears at the moment and everyone else is out getting lunch. 12:30, lunch is here. Stress plus no sleep makes one hungry. My sister's phone is still going nuts, but she's reassuring friends she is fine. Mine has slowed down to a trickle. No word from the lawyer's office. I guess as soon as possible is a figure of speech. 1 o'clock, local police are here. 19 o'clock, I'm back. I will update as much as I can. My inbox is cramped. I will respond in kind. Local police, state police, DCFS all showed up a little before 1 PM. No raid, no kick the door down. And guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that DCFS is the Department for Children and Family Services. Our parents decided to report her as runaway, possibly in harm with our address. Indiana forwarded it to Illinois as the address was known from cell phone location. Then Illinois performed a welfare check based on that. Obviously, she was not in harm's way, on drugs or being mistreated. 9 cars and a van out front, I'm sure. The neighbors are talking. DCFS and a couple Illinois state investigators remained after the search of police ebbed. Our lawyer phoned back, then drove to us minutes after the police arrived. The lawyer huddled with us, statements were provided outlining our fears, past histories, cultural histories, my reasons for leaving at 18, messages back and forth over years, but there's no smoking gun, she is in direct harm or risk of harm. We did not have a custody order and my folks have driven out to get my sister. The police did not have a reason not to return her to their custody. They did not let my parents come to our house, but met DCFS at the state police office nearby. I am worried sick. 20 o'clock, I'm done. I'm gonna drown myself in some wine and go to sleep. Lawyer says we can try for guardianship, possibly starting the petition in Indiana, which he can also practice in. I want to thank everyone who posted suggestions, praise, criticism, resources, and even that odd religious quote that was removed. I will post an update fresh when I know where we are going with this. It is killing me not knowing how she is right this minute, but I'm not worried for her personal safety for now. And a user in the comments said, Unchained is a non-profit in the US dedicated to helping women escape or resist arranged/forced marriages and rebuild their lives. They may be able to help. UnchainedAtLast.org. And another person said, you might want to ask your lawyer about filing for an emergency temporary guardianship at least until she is 18 in March. And guys, I have to say, right when I heard the title of the story, I thought, oh damn, it's gonna be very difficult to get guardianship or custody for that girl. Either way, what would you suggest OP to do in this situation? Do you think he can save his sister? Let us know in the comments, and while you're at it, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video if you want to support me. All help is very much appreciated. And the next one is an update to the arranged marriage proposal story. I felt like I neglected you people that provided us with so many suggestions in our time of need. I was advised to not post anonymously about this topic until the court proceedings were closed, as it may impact our case. Now that it is closed, my sister is safe and sound residing at our house legally. I am her temporary guardian until her birthday, at which point she is more than welcome to stay so she can pursue university. It was without heartbreak. Like me, she was disowned by my father. He is stubborn and set in his ways. He won't change. Edit. Wow, another overwhelming response to our plight. I will try to answer any questions in between shifts today. First, my father is not an evil, hateful man. There's no threat to our physical safety. We hope with time and as progressive liberal values breach religious ideology, we will amend our relationship. Second point on arranged marriages, my family's standing ensured that our agreed suitors were of similar means, and our rejection and flight hurt his standing. I know this concept is foreign to my American friends, but our marriages were very much a singular point in a greater interwoven network of dealings. I am not justifying the practice, it is abhorrent, but it is a custom in a large part of the world today. We both gave up wealth for our individual freedoms while our risk was low due to our family standing. Relocating to a country with tighter controls on freedoms made the potential for exploitation a real possibility. The real tragedy is women of low standing forced into marriages that are one-sided. That is the tale of caution told to me, I shared with you. And guys, I'm curious, how do you feel about arranged marriages? To be honest, I'm sort of surprised that OP found some positive words for that, because in my opinion this is just an incredibly old, outdated practice, and there's no reason why it should exist, at least in a Western country, in the 21st century. I have ulcerative colitis and my health insurance company keeps denying any medications prescribed for it. Okay, so I will start from the beginning. I am covered under Medicaid in Ohio. I used to have health insurance under my mom's plan. My mom was a police officer, but she was hit by a drunk driver at work and it hurt her back and is no longer able to work. I am in college, so I was able to be covered under Medicaid for the time being. I was very healthy and was using Medicaid as a just-in-case plan. I was in ROTC, whatever that means, a Google search did not help me, going to commission into the Air Force when I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. My doctor prescribed me 2 types of medications that failed for me. He wants to put me on an infusion. We have been trying to get various medications covered since March and my insurance company has denied them all. During the process, my condition has got increasingly worse. My doctor wants to put me on Remicade, but my insurance company has denied it. The last denial after an appeal stated that I had not tried and failed a similar medication, Inflectra. I agreed to the Inflectra, my doctor put in the order and they still denied it. I am getting increasingly sick and I don't know what rights I have. Any ideas? I imagine that they are breaking some types of laws here. Edit. So my first plan of action on Monday will be to first call my insurance company Monday morning and talk to them to get all the information I need and ask them why they have not made a decision. Over 30 days have passed since the late appeal for Remicade. Once I have all the information, I will most likely make a call to Ohio's insurance commissioner to try and file a complaint or get more general information. Then I will call my doctor. I have already started to fill out some applications to get my medication covered through some organizations like J&J. I will have to forward the applications to them to fill out some more details. Thank you so much for all your help and support, even if this was not a legal issue. And a user in the comments also suggested you might want to cross-post to r/insurance. This is more likely to be an administrative/policy issue than a legal one at this point. Another guy said, have your infusion center or doctor file with Janssen for Remis start. It's a rebate incentive I believe, but it makes the price for you cheaper. I believe it also reduces the insurance amount being billed, but don't quote me on that. And guys, I gotta say, it is quite interesting as a non-American to read about Medicaid and all the different opinions surrounding it. However, I'm curious, how do my viewers feel about Medicaid? Let us know in the comments. And the next one is an update to the medication story. I am shook right now, so before I asked for advice on Reddit, I had tweeted at my insurance company stating I had been without medication since March and a friendly reminder to my friends that November is open enrollment, so if you had insert insurance company name here, you could switch. My doctor called me today to say my Inflectra infusions were approved. She said that after I had sent that tweet, she started to finally receive calls back and today they approved the medication. After I tweeted that, the insurance company tweeted back requesting that I DM my info to them, which I did. I am amazed, but thank you for everyone and the wonderful advice you gave me. When I get some time, I'm going to actually compile it all into a document to pass along to fellow IBDers. Very important edit, after some advice from user Bezel and some research, I found that Ohio currently has HB 72 and SB 56 both in committee. These bills will allow doctors to easily apply for a step therapy exemption, making it easier for patients to get the medication their doctors prescribe them before their condition gets worse. Currently, insurance companies can make you take other medications and fail before you can get approved for the medication the doctor prescribes you. Step therapy protocols can be harmful to patients both financially and physically, causing an undue wait for the proper treatment and in some cases a worsening of a person's medical condition. Step therapy does not take into account an individual's medical history or other factors, but instead relies upon a predetermined prescription, drug formulary or protocol. And guys, that insurance company sounds like my internet provider. In the past 4 months I was getting very slow download and upload speeds, but then once I posted in a public forum complaining about this specific internet provider, they suddenly fixed the issue the next time I called. And the last one is the title story and is titled "Police want to give me back seized drug money. Can I be arrested?" About 10 years ago in college, California, I got arrested selling drugs. I served time, completed probation and paid my debt to society. I turned my life around and I am now many years sober. I had put my past behind me until I got a certified letter from the sheriff's department last week, asking me to come pick up a check for the $5,000 that was confiscated during my arrest. My initial reaction was that it was some kind of trap, maybe some ruse to get me for an old warrant. But the phone number on the letter checked out to the sheriff's department and I went on their website where you can check for active warrants, of which I have none. Besides, I've been pulled over for traffic violations in the past without incident. I have not been living in hiding. If they needed me, they could have just knocked on my front door. A friend of mine, who's definitely not a lawyer, told me that I could be arrested as soon as I pick up the cash. I would now be in possession of drug proceeds. This sounds to me like entrapment, as I had absolutely no intention of doing this until the police reached out to me. But I hear the word entrapment thrown around so much on TV shows that I'm not sure what qualifies, so I guess my question for the Reddit community is twofold. Could I be arrested for accepting this money? It is 100% without a doubt drug money. I had drugs on my person when it was confiscated and I have no way of proving that I made the money legally, which leads me to my next question. Would they require a proof of income? The arrest was roughly 10 years ago and I assume I got this letter due to some kind of statute of limitations that ran out. For reference, here's the text of the letter. Reference case number XX. This department is currently holding funds in the amount of $5,100 that have been authorized to be released to you. To obtain these funds, you must call the Special Investigation Bureau Narcotics Detail. You must verify your identity with the government-issued photo identification. Failure to claim these funds will result in the funds being deposited in the general fund of the county of XX. Sincerely, Assistant Sheriff. And someone in the comments said, hire an attorney to pick it up for you. If it is a trap of some kind, your attorney is not obligated to tell the police anything. And another person said, this is actually the only for sure safe method of determining if this is legitimate. Another person suggested, I thought of suggesting this, but OP is required to bring photo ID. Sounded to me as if they would only hand the money over to OP himself. And guys, maybe I am being a bit naive here, but honestly I did not know that the police would even be allowed to participate in this kind of entrapment. Do you think OP should just go and take the money? Let us know what you would do in the comments and whether you would trust the police or not. And the next one is an update to the drug money story. My original post was not too exciting and understandably did not get too much of a response, but I figured at the very least you guys deserved an update. Now on to the update. Everyone agreed that the letter is fishy. The top voted comment said I should send a lawyer in my place to pick up the funds. That sounded like a great idea, but also an expensive one, so I decided I would just take my chances. First of all, I was confident that I did not have any outstanding warrants because you can search for open warrants online, and I figured worst case scenario I would just bail myself out and fight whatever the charges were. To be honest, the idea of going into this high risk situation was a little bit thrilling. I've been sober for years, but the idea of walking into a room where I am picking up drug money and might get arrested just tickled those same areas of my psyche that selling drugs used to. Not a healthy response, I'm sure, but hey, no one gets addicted to drugs because they exhibit great decision making. So anyway, I told my wife what I was doing and who to call if she did not hear back from me. I wrote my boss's phone number on my forearm in case I had to explain why I was not going to make it into work the next day, and I headed into the sheriff's department. And they handed me a cashier's check for $5,800. Now I'm going to use a couple hundred to take my wife shopping for being such a supportive partner and put the rest in my savings account and pretend I never got it. I like to think of it as a little present that my drugged out self gave to my sober self as a reward for staying clean. Thanks for the support r/LegalAdvice. See you all next time. And with that, we have reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's content, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join our amazing community. Furthermore, don't forget to go to r/ripestories on Reddit to post your own stories if you want me to read them out in a video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I see you again tomorrow.